This brings back school memories. This is the lunch lady pizza that many of us ate in school. Of course, it's been pared down for home use. Doesn't that look yummy, delicious? You want to find out what the secret ingredient is? Stick around. For a homemade pizza crust, you will need 2 1/3 cups of AP flour. You'll need 2 1/4 teaspoon of yeast. You'll need 1 1/2 teaspoon of sugar and 3/4 teaspoon of salt of choice. You'll also need 2 tablespoons of olive oil, plus additional, I've already greased my pan, and 3/4 cup of water. At about 110 degrees. So we're going to add all of these ingredients into the water, let it bloom, then we're going to add it into our flour and get it mixed in. So we know our water is about the right temperature. Yeah, I had it in there right. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix these ingredients into that water and get that yeast blooming. And you can let that sit for a few minutes until it actually starts to bloom. And that activates your yeast. I'm going to save my bowl because I've got to pull out more spices for the meat and for the pizza sauce. And I'm using homemade pizza sauce from 2022, y'all. I made a lot of pizza sauce that year. I'm going to make a well inside my flour, and when that yeast is bloomed, we'll come back. Our yeast is now bloomed. And I'm going to pour it into our flour. We're going to get that mixed in. Once I get this mixed in, we're going to allow this to sit for about 20 to 30 minutes until it is close to being doubled. And I'm going to have to go in here with my hands to get the rest of that flour incorporated. I'm going to grab about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and put in there. And I'm going to eyeball it. We're going to get that coated a little bit. We're going to finish this out on the counter. And get that flour incorporated into our dough. I'm going to coat both sides of this dough in that olive oil and make sure it's up on the sides of my measuring cup here that I'm using. And we're going to let this sit covered with a clean towel for about 30 minutes. I'm using 1 pound of my organic hamburger meat, and my spices are 1 teaspoon garlic powder, 1 teaspoon onion powder. I didn't have the powder, I had the granulated, so I went with that. 1 teaspoon of oregano, a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper. The salt, I would say, is optional. Some people can't have all that salt, so we're just going to let you know that on the front end. And we're going to get this into a very hot skillet. Okay, my camera went down and I'm using homemade pizza sauce. And I'm going to put in a secret ingredient that they used in all our schools in America for this pizza. So I've got that out of my jars. Get all this stuff out of my way. I need to stir my hamburger. Oh, so good. So what is our secret ingredient? Got to get a tablespoon measure. It is fennel seed. So we need 1 tablespoon of fennel. I know it sounds like a lot. I think it sounds like a lot anyway. But I don't want to put in more than I need. So I'm going to make sure it's level in my spoon. And cover my jar back up. And I'm going to add it to my sauce. Simple. And we're going to get that mixed in. I've got some chunks of tomato in this sauce. My husband actually found this recipe. He wanted me to make it. It reminded him of being in school and the pizza that they would serve back then. So we're going to let the sauce rest. We're waiting on our dough to rise, and I'm going to bring you over and show you the ground beef. This smells so amazing. I like the fact that we're layering flavors. I really do. And we're going to need a 16-ounce bag of mozzarella cheese that's shredded. I've got that in the refrigerator. And you could use other cheeses like cheddar cheese and mozzarella, or, you know, Colby Jack. Any of those cheeses would be a good replacement if you want it to be more like a homestead pizza. So there's our ground beef. I need to make sure that it's drained, and then we'll begin to layer this. All right, my dough has doubled in size. I'm so excited. And we're going to get this dough spread out on our cookie sheet. I may need a little more oil in my hands, but there really isn't anything better than homemade pizza crust and homemade pizza sauce, y'all. And we know back in the day, those pizza ladies made everything from scratch. They didn't have boxed meals and stuff like they're given today for our children. And you want a little lip on your pizza. You know, around the edges, a little crust. And you're going to have to cover some holes as you go along. And I'm hoping I got enough dough made. Hey, honey. I'm filming. Guess what I'm making? School lunch pizza. And we're about to get there. All right, right, that looks pretty good to me. So, the next thing is to pour the sauce onto our pizza. And I think I needed the extra little bit of pizza sauce there. I've got a tomato there. That looks pretty good. Now it's time to start spooning on the hamburger meat. And so you want to spread this out over your pizza. Alrighty, it looks pretty good to me. I think I've got it pretty evenly on there. And we're going to put on our mozzarella. I'm going to get rid of this bowl. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and try to get that little bit of sauce out of there. "16 ounces of mozzarella." Doesn't that look wonderful, y'all? Homemade pizza. Wonder how much money I'm saving making it at home and not going to one of the pizza outlets to get one. We're going to put it in the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. It's already preheated, and bake this for 15 to 20 minutes. Fresh out of the oven, you want to let it sit for about 5 minutes before you really slice into it. And I'm going in with a small cutter. And I may have to get a knife in here, but this will make 8 good-sized slices if you decide to do it for a meal or a party. You can cut it into smaller slices. And I'm going to have to get a knife and go around the edges just to make sure that I've got all those crusts cut. But there it is, sliced and ready to go. Let me grab a knife. Alrighty. Let's lift it up and see how it goes. We'll try this corner. It looks like it's cut a little better. Doesn't that look delicious? I'm going to get my husband's plate ready. Look at that cheese. Yum. Yum, yum. Doesn't that look yummy, delicious? It's hot.
Yeah, it's hot. Too hot.
Is it good?
Mm-hmm.
Does it remind you of school? Awesome. The interactive recipe will be in the description box below, so make sure that you check it out. My husband says it brings back memories of being in school. Lunch ladies out there back in the day made everything from scratch, and this is a delicious reminder. Enjoy your pizza. Be blessed and a blessing.